We have Captain Kevin Sullivan present, who's acting as in place of Captain Tom Kennedy from the Lowell Police Department. Commissioner Brian Occasion will not be able to be with us this evening. And first item on the agenda is the board would consider approving the minutes of the meeting of our last meeting, which was January 30th.
Commissioner?
Minutes.
You move, I second. Favor? Aye. Approved.
And for sake of the License Commission ratification, in the interim after January 30th, and there were licenses issued for one-day events for all alcoholic beverages. Walter Betancourt of the Holy Ghost Society of the Holy Ghost Park, 65 Village Street, had a Brazilian night Saturday, February 22nd, from 8 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Mr. Betancourt is here at the meeting.
How'd it
Also-
go? How'd it go, Mr. Betancourt?
Well,
Great. No problems.
no problems.
For License Commission ratification also were special one-day licenses for malt beverages and wine only, or either one to Donna Julian, the applicant for events at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium. She's not able to be with us this evening. That was the Golden Gloves Boxing, Tuesday, February 20th, from 6:30 p.m. to 10:30. The New England Music Awards, Saturday, February 22nd, from 7 to 10 p.m. Also, two Golden Gloves events, Tuesday, February 25th, and Wednesday, February 26th, from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. each night. Mrs. Julian had been before the commission on several occasions prior, so she was not able to make it this evening.
That's it, huh?
So if you wish to,
Make a motion to approve.
Second? Favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Commission will now take up matters to do with applications for all alcoholic beverages. Walter Betancourt of the Holy Ghost Society for events at the Holy Ghost Park, 65 Village Street. The Carnival, Saturday, March 1st, from 12 noon, I should say, to 1:30 a.m. Also Carnival, Sunday, March 2nd, from 12 noon to 1:30 a.m. The Estrella Carnival for Saturday, March 15th, from 12 noon to 1:30 a.m. Shall I continue, or do you want to leave it at that for the moment?
Yeah, press on.
Okay. We also have special one-day license applications for beer and wine only, or either one. Rita Savard for Saturday, March 1st, from 7 p.m. to 12 midnight at 250 Jackson Street. The event is the Howell Magazine Issue 1 launch celebration. Jessica McDonald for Saturday, March 8th, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at 250 Jackson Street. The event is The Happening. Joseph Bew of Heinz Tavern, a beer and wine concession in the parking lot of Heinz Tavern, 465, 467 Gorham Street. Heinz Road Race, Sunday, March 9th, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Richard Barrett of Kilkenny Pub for a tent enclosed area at the parking lot adjacent to Kilkenny Pub, 660 Rogers Street, for St. Patrick's Day, Monday, March 17th, from 3 p.m. to 12 midnight. Also, is Christine here?
Yes.
Christine Trainer of Aramark for Wednesday, March 26th, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. The University of Massachusetts Allen House, Solomon Way. The event is the faculty and staff of Color Networking reception. And Sean Siros of the Lowell Firefighters Association for Sunday, April 13th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The fence enclosed area outside the club premises at 362, 364 Fletcher Street, which is at Willie and Cross Streets. This is the Lowell Firefighters Annual Road Race. Would all gentlemen and ladies come to the podium?
I just got a question.
Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Captain Sullivan, concerning Heinz's Tavern and Kilkenny's Pub, have we had any issues with any of those licenses at all?
Is there anybody who's new here? Step forward, please. New guys step forward, old guys step back. Introduce yourself for the record, your name and your address, and,
Hi, I'm Rita Savard. I'm the editor and founder of Howell Magazine.
okay.
Oh, my business address or my home address?
That's fine. That
Either
will
one.
suffice.
Give us one.
250 Jackson Street, Lowell,
Thank you.
Massachusetts. Oh, sorry, go.
I'm Jessica MacDonald. I reside at 219 Jackson Street, Appleton Mills.
What is the happening?
The happening is a benefit for my coworker who suffered second and third degree burns to her hands in a fire in the beginning of January.
All right, so Ms. Savard and Ms. McDonald, you understand that this is serious business. You're personally responsible. You need to have the non-emergency number with the police on your speed dial.
Yes,
You need to be able to cut people off.
absolutely.
Definitely.
Mr. Commissioner, if I may just interject at this point. Also on the agenda we have at the end, under the Executive Secretary report, a communication that the Office License Commission received from the Building Commissioner, Robert Marsilia. And with pertaining to, noted it as 350 Jackson Street, but I think that should be 250, mill number 5. And it has to do with the certificate of occupancy and certificate of inspection. I spoke with a building inspector this afternoon regarding 250 Jackson Street. And I was advised that office would be prepared to issue a temporary certificate of inspection for the event of March 1st, which is the application that Ms. Sabat has filed for the opening event of the Howell magazine. However, the matter to do with the event for March 8th, which is the happening application that's filed by Ms. McDonald, he believes that he will need to go back and do a second inspection for purposes of that activity and that event. So it's my understanding at the present time, unless this changes, and I would suggest to the commission they may take action contingent upon compliance with the Office of Developmental Services regarding the use of the premises, and that these inspections may be as need be for events that may be applied for alcohol licensing. It doesn't appear at the moment that any approval by the Office of Developmental Services would be for an annual use of the facility, much like we would expect for a bar or restaurant. So there could be some variable numbers as far as the occupant load that be allowed for. An occupant load is the total number of people allowed in a room, including employees, staff, and patrons, if you will.
Ms. McDonald, you're aware of this, right?
I am, yes.
And you're tracking it?
I have, yes, I've been made aware.
This is evolving. It's going to be evolving, I'm sure, first thing tomorrow morning. I'm sure the landlord will have much to say, but at the moment, I don't think the commission is in a position to be able to address anything beyond what I've just
Contingent, yeah.
making.
Was this an occupancy question then, Ryan? or-
It's a question of use. It's a question of, there are issues to do with any other type of public place, building, where you have to have maybe a sprinkler system in place. I'm not sure that is the case. I'm not suggesting it is a problem. I'm just saying that there are extenuating circumstances here. This is not like we have a bar or restaurant application where you have fire department, building, and they have a checkoff sheet of list of items that need to be taken care of, like you might see in this room here. We have exit signs, lit exit signs, second means of egress. The staircase has to be in whatever state of.
But Mr. Marsili is tracking this and keeping you
He's
informed.
got an inspector on the job doing that.
Great.
So obviously, we don't meet until the 13th, so this will be brought forth to your attention about the possibility of approving this permit.
Well, that's the idea. I think if you, commission was to grant such a license to, say, specific to Ms. McDonald at the moment, for the March 8th event, would be contingent upon making sure that the certificate of inspection or whatever is necessary to be allowed for. Because in conversation with the building inspector, occupant load may vary. It's not a fixed number as far as I am to understand. It could be, depending on the situation, it may be like if you put tables and chairs in a room.
Right.
You have a limited number of people, whereas if you have no chairs or tables, the number may be greater.
Should we, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we can approve all of these with Ms. McDonald's being contingent upon her getting approval from the, from the building commissioner.
Just wanted you to be
Dakota,
aware of
What do you
that.
think?
No, I absolutely agree. My question is, will we be receiving some type of report from Mr. Marsilia concerning future events?
I'm
and-
expecting one for the March 1st event tomorrow. I have an email that I received from, I was CC'd on an email that was from the building inspector to Mr. Marsilia, that apparently everything appeared satisfactory to the inspector for the March 1st event. And it was anticipated that tomorrow morning a temporary certificate of occupancy would be issued for that March 1st event.
Okay.
Beyond that, there is nothing for the record.
And everybody else here has had a permit with us before, with the city? I'd make a motion to approve. All-
Contingent, yeah.
Yeah, contingent upon with Mr. Ms.
I
McDonald.
second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Go forward and don't get in trouble.
Thank you.
I don't want to hold up your time, but can I just give you some magazines in case you want to see what Hal's all about?
Yes. I've been wondering when I was going to get hold of a copy anyway. Thank you, Rita. All right, this moves us to the back page.
I'm sorry, may I ask how I find out about the, whether or not I'll be allowed to,
Stay
with
in
the
tou-
second occupancy?
Stay in touch with Ryan.
Okay. All right, thank you.
We've got our fingers crossed for you.
Thank you.
Is this boy from Marsilia, is he gonna say that we have strict guidelines about cannot approve? I mean, all these, March 1st is fine, but March 8th, what was the reason?
Well, we can talk about it after, but it's,
Mr. Betancourt, you're
It
just
was-
standing there.
No,
it was nice, I was surprised.
stood
Do you
out
have
like
some, do
everybody.
you have more business with us?
That's it, they're all set?
I'm all set.
I don't, Mr. Betancourt has with him the president,
the
acting
new
president.
president,
Oh.
Yeah, Basil.
Good.
Because he's never been here and he doesn't know what was going on, so I wanted to take him down to meet Ryan and hopefully meet with you guys so you know who the new guy is.
I'll make a copy of that, but I was just introduced to Mr. Basil, who is now acting president.
Does he need the ABCC approval?
Well, that's a subject for another day, but for the moment, no, there's nothing required to have a License Commission approval but it's been a policy of the License Commission in acting on special one-day license applications for events at Holy Ghost Park, that it either be an officer of the Holy Ghost Society or director of the Holy Ghost Society who would be an applicant for activities at Holy Ghost Park. And so no one else. So in the past, years ago, it would be that if an organization had use of the grounds for a given weekend, that representative for that organization, not associated directly with the Holy Ghost Society, would be an applicant. But now it's been a policy of the board that only those members of the society would be taking responsibility for the alcohol service for any events that they may allow outside organizations to take advantage of the use of the grounds and the facility on various events during the calendar year.
Welcome, Mr. Brazil. Your first name, Olympio? You look very Olympian, so welcome. And good luck in your presidency.
So are we all set?
We're all set, thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Have a good night, okay, thank you.
Commission will now take up applications for special events permits for amplified outdoor public entertainment. We have the Ocean Bridge Corporation, Joseph Bew, for recorded music, loudspeaker system,
Okay,
and Heinz Road Tavern, Tavern Road Race for Sunday, March 9th, from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., 5 p.m., I'm sorry, in the parking lot of the Heinz Tavern. Also, Richard Barrett of Kilkenny Pub for the sound system for band disc jockey for St. Patrick's Day, Monday, March 17th, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the 10 enclosed area at the parking lot adjacent to Kilkenny Pub.
Gentlemen, will you please introduce yourselves and your addresses?
Joe Buell, Heinz Tavern.
Richard Barrett, Kilkenny Pub, 39 Whitehead Ave.
You gentlemen have done this before?
Yes.
You understand that we don't want to hear any noise complaints, but 5 p.m.'s not too late. 10 p.m. is,
Once again, Captain
you'll be
Sullivan, no
okay,
problems?
right?
Good point.
With respect to Kilkenny Pub, that in the tent itself, which is separate from the bar area, that's open till 12 midnight for beer and wine only. The outside where there's entertainment, because of the city ordinance, and it's a weekday early in the week as opposed to weekend, by city ordinance, not later than 10 p.m. So all the amplification, as far as the permit allows for, stops at 10 p.m. on St. Patrick's night. You understand that, Mr. Barrett, right?
Yeah, I somehow thought it was the weekend that it stopped at 10, but no, that's fine. I thought Monday and Friday was till 11 and the
The
weekend.
ordinance allows for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights till 12 midnight. Whereas Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, it's 10 p.m. And so,
Yeah, no, that's fine.
so that's not an issue. And obviously, the Heinz's Tavern is 5 p.m., it's well within the
Chances
ordinance.
are we won't be open till midnight outside. Like, once the music starts, chances are we won't be open till midnight anyways. Once the music stops, a lot of people will start to disperse.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Thank you, gentlemen. Be kind to your neighbors.
Very much.
Number 7 on our agenda is the application by the Pepper Dining, doing business as Chili's Grill and Bar, all alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee, premises at 26 Reese Avenue, for the change of its manager, and that would be Michael Bassetti, who is a resident of Hudson, New Hampshire, an employee of the business.
Please introduce yourself and give us your address, Mr. Arbasetti.
How we doing? My name is Michael Arbasetti. It's 218 Abbott Farms Lane in Hudson, New Hampshire.
And you've done this sort of thing before?
No, I've been with Chili's for a while, but
How long?
going on 15 years now.
ServSafe certified?
Yep. Yep.
Who was the, don't we usually have the prior manager here, when instances of this nature?
Usually.
The prior manager, Mr. Burrows,
Yes.
is no longer with the company.
Yeah, he's been let
Apparently,
go.
his status with the company stopped sometime in December.
I believe it was the end of December.
It was, so this application that you have before you was overdue.
Okay.
Overdue. We've been sort of floating.
But Mr. Abassetti has been, I've dealt with him on several occasions. He handled the issues to do with renewing of licenses in December.
Yes, I was handling changeover, and then I was promoted to the general
Are you in
manager.
fact the general manager?
I am
or
now,
manager?
yes.
So you're the man there, right?
Yep.
Okay, so who was supposed to bring this in front of the board? Was there,
The company is based out of where? I'm
Out
sorry.
of Rhode Island.
okay.
So they're responsible to present to the, make sure that there's somebody who's a viable candidate before the licensing authority, and they should do so in a timely manner. But this is not, it's a regulation of the License Commission requiring a licensee to do so. It should have an applicant before the board within 30 days of the prior manager leaving for whatever, under whatever circumstances.
Could we send a brief little letter to them stating that fact, that the city would like to have prompt attention to this matter?
I can certainly send it now.
For future, for future.
In the
Yeah,
future,
in the future,
yeah.
there's,
That'd be fine.
That'd be good.
I make a motion to approve.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Good luck.
I eat at your place several times a month, so I'll be keeping an eye on you.
Definitely. Come on in.
Good
Hi,
luck.
next time you're there.
so this will go to Boston, and it has to be approved by the ABCC, the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission, and I'll send you the new license when it comes back approved. So it'll take maybe several weeks.
Yeah, I like the place where they put the license. It's hard to read my name. Thank you.
In following up on the final end of our agenda was the Executive Secretary report, and just as I discussed with you earlier about Mr. Marsilia and the initial communication from him, it was anticipated, so I thought that maybe a final certificate would be approved for the facility, but it's restricted and it's limited to, at the moment, March 1st. With respect to communication, on a request for a used car dealer's license that the office had received for 70 Lakeview Avenue for an outdoor storage and sale of used cars. I had known that there was a licensee at this location back in the 1980s, but subsequent to this particular business owner leaving that location, 70 Lakeview Ave, no one else had applied for a license. The question was, and the commission was consented to my communicating to the Office of Developmental Services on the status of zoning and its use, and whether it could be in compliant, or whether it be a grandfathered use. Assistant Planner Joe Ginowitz responded saying that it would not be a grandfathered use. The lapse in time, over 25 years, if you will, does not allow for anything but what the zoning would permit, which is restrictive use, no outside sales or storage of vehicles at that location. And it would be limited to, if the commission, if the applicant was to get a special permit from the Zoning Board of Appeals, that person could get, possibly apply for an indoor license, but it is the policy of the License Commission not to grant used car dealer licenses for indoors only. There have been exceptions, but generally, it's been frowned upon by the License Commission.
Has it been communicated to the?
It's a regulation of our, it's a,
Right.
yeah, and so I just,
To do this, does he need a new zoning exception?
it would have to be a matter that would have to go before the city council, I think, to change the zoning.
Should then go to the zoning board.
That would be, the zoning board of appeals could not act for a special permit for this use for outside.
So he has a path. He has a path to success. He just has to follow. He comes to us later.
It's not common for people to go before council to seek a special change in use. I mean, the council went through a whole zoning change several years ago, and I think they were purposely trying to restrict outside cars.
So the applicant's been told this?
Not officially,
Okay.
but
All right. But you'll take care of that. You'll tell him officially.
I shall. And the last on the matter on the agenda is to do with notifying the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission of the 2014 annual alcohol beverage licenses issued. Generally, all the licensees are to have their license in hand by January 1st for the new calendar year. It's not uncommon to have several who need more time. Such a place was the White Eagle Cafe, a license that was issued several weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, actually, actually, I should take that back, it was about a week ago. However, two licensees, Huff Inc., Sea Spot, and Mambo Grill, did not comply, and the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission was notified that their renewals were disapproved. Now, I don't think the commission has to concern itself with a business on Merrimack Street. Mambo Grill. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but
Did a good job on that.
I was told sometime, not too long ago, that I was mispronouncing it.
No uncertain terms either.
Anyhow, Puff Inc. is, the owner of Puff Inc. is here, and he seems to think that he can drag this out indefinitely, and I'm very frustrated with the man, and I welcome him to speak to the commission if he wants to address the board, and if the commission will have him. I've talked to him at length, and he knows the requirements. It's not his first year. He's been in business, or had been in business for
7 years.
7 years.
Yes, sir.
And it's just, I don't know.
Introduce yourself.
Claude Charlotte, 51 Pleasant Hill Ave, Mattapan, Mass.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Claude Charlotte. The business is 171 Lakeview Avenue, Lowell.
So what's your story?
The story is right after I came out of here, I start working to get everything passed. The reason why I'm here today is because the inspector wanted me to have a plumber regulate the flow, the vent pipe flow in the building. And it required a licensed plumber to do that. The plumber did the job, and he told me he called the inspector several times today, and they haven't, no response. So I do have all the money taking care of everything. It's just
Wait, hold on, let's back up 10 steps here. 1 month ago,
yes,
you came in front of this board requesting us to give you another 2 weeks and
Yes.
there'd be no problems,
yes, sir.
right? Now we're here 1 month later due to the canceled meeting, and now you're telling this board that you're still not in compliance.
It was.
Is that, am I
Yeah,
right so far?
right. You're
Okay.
right
Now
so
you're
far.
saying that inspector came in, he asked you to do some plumbing repairs, right?
We did the plumbing, but
Okay, so what happened after that?
he wants, when he came to inspect the place, I told him we did the plumbing. He said he wants a licensed plumber to regulate the flow of the vent pipe.
I'm not following you.
Yeah.
You needed a license for what?
Plumber to regulate the flow of the vent pipe so there won't be no carbon monoxide get inside the basement. That's something new to me. I told him that the pipe has been there since I bought the place.
Captain Sullivan, you were nodding. Can you enlighten me here?
Actually, he's talking about the regulation of the vent pipe.
Oh, of the vent pipe.
Yeah, the vent.
So a licensed plumber would be able to do it properly, and the inspection would pass, and it sounds like it's not
Yeah.
in that situation right now. if I'm
Right.
understanding.
The plumber did the job, but he want the inspector to look at it before they can forward the license.
All right, let's go back let's go back to a day after the last time you were here.
Yes.
And you said you were gonna be on the phone, making sure that this happened.
I did.
So you're telling me in 1 month time,
I did. See, when he came back after I came out of here, I called everybody so they can get everything ready, and the inspector came. He told me, okay, this need to be fixed, that need to be fixed. I did right away.
Okay.
Then after that, he came back to re-inspect it again,
Yep.
along with the fire department, because I had hired a company to do the vent clean and all the system, the fire system.
The work finished and ready for inspection.
The work, the last part of the job finished this morning. It finished this morning.
Just got finished this
Yes, it finished this morning. That's the
No
fl-
way it could be inspected between this morning.
morning and, right, because it's a vent pipe. He said to me that that shouldn't take no time, so he came and did what he has to do. He would call the plumbing inspector to inspect it, then I'm good to go.
Mr. Wynn?
Members of the commission, with all due respect to Mr. Charlotte's explanation of its defies logic. A businessman with an annual license has to file a renewal application in the month of November. Mr. Charlotte knows that. He knows that in the month of December, the License Commission Office has to prepare licenses. The License Commission has to grant renewals, subject to the facts that the state law requires. certificate of inspection, certificate of liquor liability insurance. Mr. Shalat, on February 27th, does not have a certificate of inspection. The odds of him getting a certificate of inspection in the foreseeable future don't look good. I would recommend to the commission that the disapproval that was sent to the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission by yours truly to finish up the reports that need to be filed with the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission by each and every city and town stand, that is, that it was disapproved. If Mr. Shalat, after he's done all his inspections and gets the certificate, then he may apply for a new license. In all probability, the matter of his disapproved renewal, after the License Commission goes through the prescribed process of applying for a new license, which is public hearing, legal notice first, public hearing, and being sent to the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission for their approval as a standard procedure, that they, the LBCC, would act upon this as a late renewal and may proceed to give its approval so that the license may be issued. There is nothing I can send to the ABCC tomorrow morning that would give substance to any review or reinstatement, if you will, of this particular license. And it's just defies logic. And I all I can say is that the protocol is that Mr. Shalat is well aware of it. He chose to do nothing for all of January. It took some prompting on the part of the License Commission Office to get him to initiate a certificate of liquor liability insurance, which came, curiously enough, by way of the insurance agent on February 13th, which was the day we were scheduled to meet, but because of the forecast and the weather being what it was, the meeting had been canceled.
Yeah.
So very.
Here's my view on this. I think that we're a pretty business-friendly group as a commission. There are problems here. I spent 2 years responsible for a nuclear weapons storage site and got inspected a couple of times a month on average and had a lot of problems, but I didn't seem to have this much problem. I think we should continue the disapproval, allow Mr. Shalat to finish up his work and reapply in. I would hope that the License Commission would, the ABCC would see it as a late submission.
Well, the procedure would be, as I mentioned, it would be applying for a new license. There are
Yes.
available licenses.
Right.
The commission did allow public comment on whether this business should be reinstated as a new licensee.
I don't see that this will be, that path will be much slower than the path we're on, so
Yeah,
That's a valid point.
go ahead,
Mr.
John.
Shalat,
Yes, sir.
I'm still a bit confused here in the fact that actually there was an applicant who came in before you a month ago. Mr. Zame had brought in somebody and had told this commission that Mr. Nguyen was more than ready to help out anybody at any time and help the process through. If you were having a problem with the inspection, I would have think that you would have picked up the phone and give Mr. Nguyen a call to help facilitate this process. You in fact did not do that. And for Mr. Nguyen to tell us to go this path, I have to tell you, it's serious. So I'm gonna make a motion that we disapprove and that we go through the whole new license procedure.
Second. Favor?
Aye.
Aye. So approved. Okey-doke.
If you need additional help, Mr. Schlott,
Yes.
I'm sure Mr. Nguyen would be able to help you in the process that you're gonna have to undergo to get a new license.
Okay, sir.
All right?
I have to reapply for a new license.
You're gonna have to reapply for a new license, and
Okay.
You have a lawyer, right?
Yes, I do have a lawyer.
Check with your lawyer. It's always good to check with the lawyer.
Thank you very much.
And also, if I may point out to the board and to Mr. Shalat, is this matter of disapproval can be appealed to the ABCC. if you will. If, in a letter of decision confirming the disapproval we sent to you, and you can take that to the ABC if you wish to appeal that action as opposed to applying for a new license. But the grounds of the disapproval is, the commission has just confirmed, is that there is no certificate of
Inspection.
inspection.
Yes.
And that's one of the, as you sign the renewal application,
Yes,
you
I did.
know,
Yes, I
it
did.
states, and that's where the purpose of the License Commission or any licensing authority approving the renewals, they have to attest to the fact that each and every licensee has their certificate of inspection and their certificate of
Liability.
insurance, and they have to sign it. And I act as their agent for that purpose. So,
Should I continue with the inspection and service department?
I would give your lawyer a call.
Okay.
And maybe through him or through yourself to give Mr. Wynn a call and what you need to do to start the process over
Okay.
again.
Okay, I'll do that right away.
You need the inspection, though, obviously.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Now, we have 3 guests. Do they have anything they want to say to us?
I was just curious if you had any other questions about 250 Jackson Street, which is still on the agenda from earlier.
Okay. I think we're set with 250
At this point, I think.
at this point.
there's nothing on the agenda beyond the fact that Rita Savard's application has been approved. It's anticipated tomorrow morning that the certificate of occupancy is going to be available to Mr. Lakulis, the landlord, for the use of that 250 Jackson Street site on March 1st. It doesn't go beyond March 1st. That's what I was told by the building inspector.
It might
No-
be.
No weather slip.
So as far as the commission's application approval for Jessica McDonald, it's contingent. It's okay, it'll be issued, but we got to make sure that the inspection says it's okay for that event. So it's something you'll have to work out with. Yeah, you'll know the situation. It's,
Motion.
We look forward to seeing Mr. Marsilia's report and see how this board will go down the road on future permits, that type of thing. Okay? Good.
Motion to adjourn?
Second? All in favor?
Favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, are you on a path to wellness?